Did you know that over 67% of fathers in the US and the UK have said they feel disconnected from their purpose in life? This has led to potential taking of lives or unaliving, and this has also led to families breaking up because men don't know where they stand within the masculine, masculine traits between it's the blurred vision, because the big key word here is toxic masculinity. There's a big difference. So we're going to talk about that today. And at the end of today's video, do not miss out as we go through 4 tips that you can do as a man to be a happy man living in a happy home by using a masculine energy.
Yeah, well said. That over there, ladies and gentlemen, is Craig Manning. I myself am Tom Cockerell. We are accredited coaches with the International Coaching Federation. We are here to help the family men, whether you're a husband, a father. We're here to make you have a happier home. So if you do want to know more, you want to talk to us on a private level, check out our links in our description. That goes to our personal Facebooks. Feel free to contact us if you do have any more burning questions that you feel like is inappropriate for the comments. And if at any point you do enjoy this video and you think, yeah, these guys are on board with something, then make sure you leave the thumbs up button, hit the all subscription, and ring that notification bell as well, because that will massively help and support this channel of helping men. So thank you very much.
Yeah, before we get into it, don't forget to leave it till the end. Make sure you listen to the end because we have got something for you, an offer for you. Now, let's face it, men out there, we do know that a lot of the time, especially in the corporate world or in business or in politics, we are suppressing your natural instincts and a fear of being judged. And the problem is the word toxic. So all it is people adding toxic at the beginning of masculinity. Now, masculine energy, if you ask someone, they're a good leader, they're compassionate, they want to lead, they let other people lead when it's necessary, they love, they provide, they secure. This is all traits of masculinity. Toxic masculinity is very different. It's the people out there that want to dismantle society, want to dismantle people, dismantle families. These are known as toxic men, not toxic masculinity. They're just toxic men that use masculine traits to use it for their advantage. Now, the average man out there, and I can speak from experience, we want to actually help our family, love our family, treat our wives, show love to our wives and kids. But I've noticed in society recently, even in going to seminars, you go to business seminars, you notice that people are scared to almost like say that they're a man and they're manly, and because it's like the fear of being judged. And this shouldn't be a thing, because men, what you are doing out there has built what you're sitting in right now, the infrastructure of this world, the technology, the energy that we use in this life has been built from masculine traits. So don't feel bad for being masculine.
Yeah, 100%. And what are the absolute worst things that can happen, if you do sort of fail yourself, is you feel like you're walking on eggshells. Like you feel like a lot of people we speak to, they're often quite scared to express what they want or when they're not happy, because they feel like if they say, oh, I'm not happy with this, they'll be labeled as a toxic man wants his own way all the time, and they feel suppressed by that. And that's what sort of causes those negative energies, because they can't feel free to speak up, speak what's wrong with them, and change what's going on, because they feel like they'll be judged highly on it. So this is why that we're bringing out these 4 tips, because it is absolutely essential for you to be bringing this into your household. So going with that one, we're going to do with tip number 1, and that is being the calm within the storm. Now, there's studies going back to babies where, they put like an obstacle course with like a boy and a girl. The girl might sit there and cry, because she wants to be heard. She wants the attention. Women are very like that. They like to be heard more. As for boys, they are biologically more problem solving. They try and get it. Now, in your life, you will have problems. You will have barriers. You will have obstacles for like most situations in life. And if you go through life without any, then you are doing something bloody special. But I would say a good 99.9% of us will. So you need to be the absolute calmness within that, because when things go wrong, the worst thing you can do is go into an absolute hyper fear and scared, where you just absolutely are not helping any situation. All you're doing is freaking your wife out. You're freaking your children out because you are not calm. But if you think, all right, and hey, this is a problem. How are we going to solve this? How are we going to get around it? How are we going to get around it? How are we going to resolve this problem? Now, not only does this sort of create a wonderful stability for your wife, because she'll also understand that you're doing your bit as the man. You're handling the problem no matter what it is. But you're also being an absolute wonderful role model for your children, because they will see You in a crisis, which is why it's important to share when you are in a crisis to your children so they can see how you handle it, so they can adapt from it, but they'll see you handle it and they'll see you work out the problems and they'll see how you can go through any problem calm and sort of professional. So that is definitely tip number one for me, is be the calm in that storm.
Yeah, I really like that tip. So I do like the baby thing as well, because I read up on that recently. It's very interesting. But tip two, ladies and gentlemen, is set clear directions and boundaries. I like talking about this because everyone gets really upset when we talk about men leading a family, etc. But there are two leaders in a family. It's the husband and wife in a husband and wife relationship. There are caveats to that in different relationships. Whoever takes on that role, but there is different roles within a family, and however that is taken upon is dependent on the family. But an average, and I really probably should have big words here, saying average family, the men take on certain roles and the women take on certain roles, and that's absolutely fine. And I actually use my own family for this. Like, mainly I'll lead and I'll make sort of like the key decisions in certain areas, and my wife sort of likes that. But here's the big thing, and this is what I really love about the family dynamic of husband and wife. When the husband needs help or is struggling or dealing with issues and really can't find a way out, this is where the women can step up, because they can also lead just as good as men. And that's what's so special about it, is the woman is letting the man lead because it is in his natural instincts, it's his nature to lead and set those boundaries within the family, like, no, this is what we can't do, we can't move here, this is where we need to be, that sort of thing. But when the man needs help and the clarity, that's when the wife can step in. I think that's what's so beautiful. And don't forget, whilst you are a dad, and whilst using your masculine energy to lead from a family with discipline and hardship, but also compassion, your woman and your wife in your life is also leading in a different way as well. She's leading the mothering, the nurturing, the love inside the family, because a man learns so much off their wife. So what I mean about boundaries, you need to create those family routines, rituals, and shared values. Like, a lot of your family will share natural values. You'll have things that are a bit differences, depending on gender, depending on when you was born, all these sort of things, because your older son may have a difference from a younger son because of the generations we live in. But the big thing is, this builds safety and trust. I know right now that I can lead my family, I can help them financially, I can help them build, I can help them grow. But if I do need to reach out to my wife at any point, she'll be there with a click of a button. I don't know why I click of a button, but she'll be there ready to go and ready to help when I need. So we have got that family dynamic. So lead, of course, use that masculine energy, but use the feminine energy from your wife to help you in those times of needs, because she'll want to help you and show love. Okay, so that was tip two. Before we move on to tip three, just a bit of a reminder, we have got a bit of a special offer towards the end of this video, so stick around so you do not miss out. And if you are liking what we're saying so far, or you can relate, feel free to leave comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell.
100%. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tip number three, lead with patience, not pressure. Now, this is such a big one. Do you know why? Because if you look at the statistics of prisons, 85% of the prisoners are from fatherless homes. Now, for many men, unfortunately, like, when things get a bit too difficult or they can't solve their problems, it is very easy to jump ship, or something. They might have been there with the wrong woman who might not be understanding to his needs. They're just not compatible, and they just jump ship. They just run off. You need to be there 100%, no matter how much how much that boat is rocking, how difficult those roads are, and you have to be there with absolute presence and not feel like you have to be there, because it's not like pressure, but you feel like this is your duty, it's your responsibility. You are wanting 100% to be here. I know, like, speaking with my family, anything that's going on, I would love to sort of be there to be able to help, offer my insight, just be that sort of rock of support if need be. And it would break my bloody heart if one of my children or my wife was going through something that was very sort of saddening to them, and they feel like they couldn't come to me. That would break my bloody heart, because that's what I'm there for. It's not like a pressured thing. It is, I just want to be present with them, because that's what my job is, the husband. That's my job as their father. I'm designed and I'm made to be there for them 100%. So tip number three is lead with that presence and not the pressure.
Yeah, that is a really powerful thing, tip three. And tip four, well, here it is, isn't it? This is the difference between toxic masculinity and masculinity. Balance your masculine strength with vulnerability. It's so important, men out there. Yes, you need to show strength, need to show resilience. As Tom said before, we need to be that role model, not only for our wonderful wives, but we also need to be the role model for our wonderful kids as well. And they need to see that you can overcome pressure and how you do it, as we've mentioned. But there is a big key difference. And as we become more modern and we become more intelligent within how to run a family, we need to know that we're not losing our direction within our emotion. We let our kids reflect and learn by seeing when we are vulnerable and we are hit in a case, and that I've been there, and Tom's been there. That's why we're coaches now, is because we've gone through that vulnerable stage and we had to sort of fight our way through it. Admittedly, we did it wrong at the beginning. For a very long time, we were just trying to deal with it with alcohol, whiskies, ropes, and pills. That was pretty much how we tried to deal with it, and it wasn't the right way. In fact, actually reaching out to our wives and admitting our vulnerability when we could, or showing our kids that we can still be vulnerable but very strong. And this is so important. So what can you do with the tip 4? What can you do to take action away? Well, first of all, we know that the world is in a bit of a crazy time where, a lot of people are very sensitive to a lot of things online, and men more than ever are very sensitive. But this is where your strength and resilience needs to come in. You need to show your family you can be strong. Don't moan, cry about everything that doesn't need to be moaned and cried about, because you can't control it. It's external. It's away from your family. So teach them how to overcome that, because I don't want my son to grow up and cry about everything at the exact same time as I want him to be vulnerable when needed. So the vulnerability, where does that come in? How can we take action against that? If you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed, there is nothing wrong with telling your kids, look, kids, Dad's going to be a bit of a tough time at the moment. Do you know what I'm going to do to overcome it? What do you think I can do? Sometimes kids come up with the most imaginative ideas ever. If you're dealing with a lot financially, for instance, you turn to your kids and go, what do you think Daddy should do about my finances right now? Have you got a 5 already? But in all honesty, you turn to your kids and you can say something and they come out with the most magical things that you've ever heard. And some of it's absolutely ludicrous, but some of it's really good. And I've done this recently with my children, my kids, like Dad struggled with this, or Dad had a heart problem or whatever. And it's like, and my daughter now sees me going to the gym and overcoming it and building body mass and muscle mass and stuff. And she's like, look at this man. This is exactly what I'm hoping she'll see in a man in the future, is somebody that, yes, he can be vulnerable and say, look, I'm struggling, darling. But at the same time, he stands up on his 2 feet and carries on. So that's why tip 4 is so important, because there is the very, very thin line, the blurred line that unfortunately social media has destroyed in men at the moment, is the toxic versus normal masculinity. And it's that strength, but also being vulnerable. Women want to know that they can help you. Trust me, a lot of women out there, they'll want to know that they can nurture and care and change little things about you because it's in their nature to do so. So they're the 4 tips that we've just gone through. I said at the end that we're going to do a bit of an offer for you. So thank you for listening to the end. And we hope that these tips have helped you. But if you can relate, if some of these things you think, I don't quite understand and I still want some help with it, we're doing the next 3 people to reach out to us and leave in the comments family home. I'll say that again, family home in the comments. We'll reach out to you, or we'll send you a link so you can talk to us. And we're offering a 45-minute free discovery call, complimentary, so we can speak to you. We can make an organized plan on how to make you a happy man, happy home. And all we'll do is we organize it. So either myself or Tom will speak to you, and we'll organize a program for you as well, where we'll then sit down between us on a relationship status from Tom and a fatherhood status and stress status from myself, and we'll break that down for you. And that's the next 3 people, so don't miss out. Whilst you're down in the comments though, if you are going to not leave that because that's something you don't require at the moment, please feel free to leave your own comments down below as well and your opinions, and we'll be more than happy to read it. And if it's something that you don't agree with, absolutely happy, because we're not 12 years old. We can deal with comments that you may disagree with us, and that's fine as well. We'll answer them, or we'll read them at least.
Yeah, 100%. But the reason we get into this is because family is absolutely so important for the future, but not only for your future, your partner's future and your children's future. Like, the happy home is just the perfect place that you just want it to remain perfect. And this is why we like to help men, so they can keep that sort of perfect home. So if you have enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave the thumbs up button, hit the old subscription, and ring that notification bell as well. It really supports our channel. And thank you as well for giving us so much of your treasured time and watching up to this point. We hope you've learned something today. We've hoped it's something that you can take away, some practical exercises, some practical sort of knowledge, even something to think about and go, I do sort of, I do let pressure get to me and I do flap a bit. Maybe I should be calmer and stronger. That's what it's there for. That's what it's there to help you sort of get some self-reflection upon yourself. So thank you so much as well. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and happy Mother's Day as we're recording this as well.
Yeah, make sure those mums are loved, because we've got to love our mums and the wives, because let's face it, what would we do without them, eh?